Yo, welcome everybody to the Huron semifinals between Archery's Miami Flare and Razz's Detroit Delmise. I'm MBoss11, coach of the Milwaukee Mammoth Swines in the Huron division.
And I'm Embers. I'm coach of the Shanbana Shellos in the Huron division.
Yeah, so we got a super exciting matchup here today between the Flare and the Delmise. These two teams did play during the regular season, but they played a meme match, so they haven't actually played each other yet this season. If you think about it that way, so this one's sure to be exciting.
Yes, of course. Now it's gonna take a little bit for them to get into the game.
Yeah. So why don't we go through their teams quick here?
Right, right.
Um, Razz has let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, we weren't expecting to have this much time. This is the
All
first
right.
time we are watching this.
Yeah. So Razz has Cresselia, Comfey, Gudra, Crobat, Hitmonlee, Morgrim, Vikavolt, Aggron, Golurk, Wishiwashi, and Flareon. And Archery, who started midway through the season, got to draft his team out of the free agents available, has Dragapult, Excadrill, Gigalith, Primarina, Reuniclus, Zoroark, Appleton, Luxray, Mr. Mime Galar, Persian, and Sawk.
Yeah, so that's a
So,
very.
yeah, what are you thinking looks good here for both teams?
Before we see what they actually bring, I think that on Raz's end, a pretty standard thing from him, maybe a Hitmonlee Comfey tech would be really nice. It doesn't look like Archery Hunter has that much redirection. No redirection at all on his end. So some
Yeah, so that
Hitmonlee Comfey
comfy.
stuff could be a real problem. But
Yeah, or even just
I don't think
comfy with
Gudra
pretty much
stuff.
anything. Yeah, comfy with pretty much anything here looks pretty good from Raz's end since, yeah, as you said, Hunter doesn't have any redirection to stop that.
Right, but I don't think Gudra is the right call there, purely because
Yeah, that Dragapult's
yeah,
scary.
Dragapult is very, very scary, and Primarina as well. It can take so many hits. It's just not worth it with that much offensive pressure. So we will get to
Yeah.
see what each player is bringing.
Yeah, so it looks like Hunter here brought Persian, Mr. Mime, Dragapult, Gigalith, Primarina, Luxray, and Raz is bringing Morgrim, Gudra, Hitmonlee, Vikavolt, Golurk, and Cresselia.
This is a very interesting bring from Razz, because first off, he just doesn't bring the Comfey at all, which is huge for Hunter. I have no clue what his strategies are going to be. Maybe he's going to start trying to do some skill swap stuff. Maybe get maybe get what's it called, no guard onto the Vikavolt. Meanwhile, it
I
looks
know
like
that's. I think he
what's
went for
that?
that last time during their meme match, so we'll
Right,
see how that goes.
it could happen again. You never know.
Yeah, he doesn't have the element of surprise this time though, so it might not be as effective. But we don't need to speculate much further because we're hopping into the match right now. Raz is going to lead with the Cresselia and Vikavolt, so maybe skill swap. Who knows? And Persian Mr. Mime is going to come out from Hunter.
I don't think skill swap is going to come out here because both Vikavolt and Cresselia have levitate. But for Persian and Mr. Mime, that could be huge for setting up Hunter's late game. This is obviously a late game max type lead, but getting those screens set up maybe from the Mr. Mime and the fake out that can prevent the trick room from the Gracelia could absolutely be brutal.
Yeah, this lead from Hunter certainly isn't very offensive, but he obviously has something he wants it to do. And if he's bringing these two mons, you better be sure they're gonna do what he needs them to do.
Exactly. And on Raz's end, you're not really sure what they're going to do. Like, you can see almost anything from Cardio to Mr. Mime, but we see a helping
Yeah,
hand.
yeah. So Cresselia essentially dodging that fake out by getting off the helping hand first. Mr. Mime's gonna click that light screen, reduce damage coming in, and Vikavolt's just gonna bug buzz here. Bug buzz into Mr. Mime. It's just gonna one shot it. Helping hand bug buzz from Vikavolt is very strong here.
So obviously this Vikavolt has a lot of damage behind it. It could possibly be Specs, I'm not entirely sure. But if it is Specs, its Primarina ring is very big on Hunter's end because now that Vikavolt has to switch out or max in order to get some super effective damage onto the Primarina. However,
Yeah,
if it isn't Specs, and that's just a very strong Vikavolt, then this could
yeah.
be a real problem for Honor.
Y- Yeah, Primarina does not want to stare down that Vikavolt here, especially when they know that Cresselia is packing that helping hand.
Right. So we do see
And
the
here, I think,
Dynamax.
yeah, I think this is going to be Primarina getting big. Yep, Primarina Dynamax from Hunter's End. So that, I mean, they're obviously not that scared of Vikavolt, but I think Vikavolt still poses a decent threat to this thing. It's going to do a lot of damage. And Razz is opting not to max and just protects Vikavolt. So it isn't Specs, just simply going for Protect there, trying to shield itself from some damage. And then Persian's going to taunt that Cresselia. It's going to go off. Primarina is just going to max Geyser then. Looks like, yeah, into Vikavolt. So hitting into that Protect, still going to do a little bit of damage here and set the Rain up, which is probably the more important part of that little exchange.
Right, right. Because now that Primarina has Rain Up and has done that much chip to the Vikavolt, another Max Geyser can outspeed the Vikavolt and kill it at that range. Meanwhile, Cresselia is forced to go for whatever offensive tools it has. I'm not even sure what offensive tools it has at this point. It could
Yeah.
be some Icy Wind shenanigans, it could be a Moonblast, but I don't think
hmm
Cresselia really likes to tech too many offensive moves.
Yeah,
So this
Cresselia is a
puts,
very
yeah,
Yeah, Cresselia is a very bulky defensive Pokemon, so you usually don't see too much offense coming out of it. But Raz is actually opting to max right here. Um, Wonder what this is going to be. It is going to be that Vikavolt. Makes sense here, staring down the Primarina. Although it is going to take a chunk from that Max Geyser for sure, assuming that Hunter targets into it. And then we're just
right.
going to see Hyper Voice come out from Persian, just doing a little bit of chip to both. And Primarina is going to Max Geyser, assuming, yeah, into Vikavolt. Oh, Vikavolt
Oh,
hangs on. And Cresselia is going to go for Moonblast here. Going to connect with Persian, do a little bit of chip, break a potential sash. Vikavolt's going to max Lightning into Primarina, but Primarina eats its Walkenberry. So that max Lightning is going to go off, but not going to do very much damage here. So this is a really awkward position for Raz now.
right. Raz was probably expecting that Max Lightning to Oko or close to Oko, and now that it is within kill range, within Persian's kill range actually. Um,
Yeah.
this is essentially a wasted max. If he wants any more value out of the vehicle, he'll have to switch it out, but I'm not sure it's worth taking that much damage onto the vehicle slot. And this Cresselia here,
Yeah.
it's doing
That
almost
Vikavolt,
no damage with the Moonblast.
yeah. The Vikavolt hanging on though is pretty big here because it does mean that that Raz gets to burn through another turn of Hunter's max without like putting another one of his mons at risk.
Of course, and it gives a whole load of damage. Sorry, yeah, a whole load of chip off onto that Prem that he otherwise wouldn't have.
hmm So definitely not the worst position, but definitely not the best either. And Persian's just going to go for the hyper voice onto Cresselia and Vikavolt, but Vikavolt had max guarded. And Premium is just going to Geyser into Cresselia. Cresselia is also going to hang on here. So, and Cresselia is just going to Moonblast again and get a little bit more chip on that Persian.
Right, right.
And
Now
Cress
that's
is going to shake off the taunt.
hmm So Crest is the second slowest thing on the field. Both of Hunter's mons are faster than it. So at this point, if yeah, at this point, if Raz wants to get any value out of this turn, especially since he's already burned the Max Guard and the Vikavolt, he's gonna have to switch something in. But it's not
hmm
really worth it at this point. He's gonna have to take the double KO if he wants a cleaner endgame.
Yeah, and we know that that Persian has hyper voice, and so it can just kind of clean up both knockouts and get chip on anything that comes in. Oh, and we have a DC here. All right, sorry for the interruption, everyone. We figured out what was happening. So this is actually the end of game one. Raz and Hunter just agreed to play it out with the mons they had left, just at full health, the gentleman's agreement. So we're just watching that here.
Right, right. I don't think it's gonna make too big of a difference. On this end, however, it could give Hunter a significant advantage given that mons like Primarina and Persian, who had obvious chip onto them beforehand,
Hmm.
are going to get fresh full HP bars to finish this out. So instead of
Yeah,
recreating the game, this is going to be a very interesting situation.
yeah. Persian's just gonna use the icy wind here. Hits actually hits both those mons decently hard. Drops their speed. Um, let's see what comes out here. Primarina uses dazzling gleam. Again, more chip onto both. Does a chunk to Gudra and Golurk. Gudra's gonna sludge bomb here into Primarina. Ooh, it's not gonna pick up the KO. I wonder if that would have KO'd if Primarina had its chip on it. And Gudra does reveal its life orb. Then Golurk's gonna close combat into Persian here, and Persian has its sash because again it didn't have its chip on it. So it looks
Right.
like the agreement here to play it out the way that they did is kind of coming back to bite Razz.
hmm And whatever mon that Hunter had in the back is probably not going to hit the field at this point, where otherwise it would have.
Hmm.
And it's a
Yeah, it means he
pretty
gets the
easy cleanup
conservative
on
info.
very easy cleanup on Hunter's end here.
Yeah, would have been interesting to see how that would have played out had they just recreated it normally. But we'll never know, and this is what they decided to do. So this is just the results we're looking at.
Right, right. So obviously not the ending you would really want or expect out of a playoff match, especially at this high. But the fact that they're both civil about it and made the agreement on these terms, gotta respect that.
Guja's actually going to go for that protect there. Probably just trying to get that, hoping Poison claims Primarina at some point here. But Persian's going to get off that Icy Wind into Golurk. It's going to do some more chip. Actually, just going to knock it out there. Uh, so Persian actually gets a kill.
hmm
Very interesting. Primarina's just going to Dazzling Gleam. Goes into Guja's Protect. I don't think Primarina's going to die to Poison here. Um,
Oh,
oh, yeah, it just hangs on. Which means that Razz is looking at trying for a double
no, this is
to
a
win the
triple.
game. A
That
triple.
that was the double that it hit, I believe, or was it not?
Oh,
I believe,
wait.
yeah, yeah, it
Raz
did.
still has Vikavolt.
Oh no, he still has Vicable, but it's already dead. It's just not gonna do anything.
Oh, okay, I see.
I mean, I'm not sure if that was the double beforehand or it was just a single protect.
I think that was just a for no, because Gudra that was just a single protect. So I think
Okay.
Gudra has to go for the double. It doesn't get it, so that's probably just going to be game right here. Vikavolt's just protecting. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm
Well,
assuming that that's just not going to come into play.
right, the Vicable protecting just probably means that we're gonna pretend that it's not on the field at all.
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah,
gonna sit there and do its thing.
yeah, and
And
Gudra's
now
just
that
going to go
Good,
down.
yeah, now that Gudra's down, they're probably going to cancel the match and keep it going for the next one.
Hmm. Yeah, so pretty clean win from Hunter there after the disconnect. It would have been interesting to see what went down had there not been a disconnect, but again, we won't know how that went out or went down. So this is game one here. Yeah, pretty clean from Hunter.
Right, right. Now, obviously, I don't know what he's doing
Oh,
at this point.
are they still playing it out?
Yeah, it's canceled.
No, okay, they're just canceling. Yep, okay. So yeah,
All
Hunter
right.
wins that game one here.
Mhm.
Interesting circumstances for sure, but still a pretty clean cut game from Hunter.
Right, right,
Especially we saw that he had that Dragapult in the back, which meant that even had he even had the items been used on Persian and Primarina already, and they had the chip, it probably wouldn't have mattered. Dragapult had a pretty clean end game there.
right, right. It's just so strong and it has
Yeah,
so much
Dragon
to
Darts is
deal with
just a
everything
brutal
else.
move.
hmm So,
But yeah, so we're gonna hop into game one, two here.
right. So looking at what game two has to offer on Hunter's end, I don't think he's gonna want to do the Mr. Mind Lead again. Oh, he does. Okay, so I'm not sure Mr. Mind Lead is the best option, but he chooses to go for it anyway and just honestly go for the same exact setup.
Hmm.
I personally don't like it because he knows how easily Mr. Mime got KO'd that first game. So
Yeah.
he must really value that light screen. and getting that
Mhm.
off if he wants to like bring it into lead again. But for Raz, he
Yeah.
obviously has to find some sort of adaptation here. And
Mhm.
the main thing is how does he break through that how does he break through the Wakanberry Primarina without losing too many mons? And with only the Vigavolt to really hit it hard, I'm not sure there's a great way to do that.
Yeah, it is worth noting that the Guja does have max ooze, but I don't think that's gonna be doing enough damage to get through the Primarina.
Especially with a max Starfall going into it after.
Yeah, but let's hop into this game, see what Raz tries to do here.
Right. What is the plan that
Um,
he has concocted?
yep, and it looks like that plan is Morgrim Hitmonlee. And then yeah, Hunter's just going with the Persian Mr. Mime lead again.
So, what I'm saying out of Morgrim Hitmonlee is swagger strats. Hitmonlee is going to have a Lumberry, Morgrim's going to swagger into it, it's going to get to +2, and Hitmonlee can fire off a +2 attack or even max attack into whatever he wants.
Yep, my thoughts exactly there. So we'll have to see how that works out. That Persian does have fake out pressure here, which could be scary for Raz to deal with.
Right, Raz may just double protect this first turn and save his setup for the second.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Or if the Morgrim has fake out, I could see him going for that. He's taking a
Right,
long time to think through his moves though, so definitely considering all of his options. He's
right.
actually gonna max the Hitmonlee here.
Hmm. So Max Hitmonlee, honestly, very expected because he you don't want to get the fake out onto the lead and just get no pressure out of it. So
Hmm.
maxing it very early gives him at least a little bit of offensive pressure through this fake out, but he just Raz just doesn't protect through the fake out at all.
Oh, and Mr. Mime is gonna go off with the trick into Hitmonlee, giving it an eject button. We see the Lumberry come out there. It was Swagger strats from the Morgrim, and Max Darkness is just gonna kill the Mr. Mime here. However, this is not a good position for Raz to be in.
Right, right. Because now this is the entire Dynamax burned, and Hitmonlee doesn't have his unburden boost. So now Persian can outspeed and get it out of the way, or it can focus down that Morgrim instead and let Primarina deal with the Hitmonlee. It's really just
Hmm.
whatever Hunter wants at this point.
Yeah, it definitely getting the fact that Mr. Mime actually went down in one hit game one seems to be benefiting Hunter here as he didn't reveal the eject button. I was just allowing it to take Raz by surprise in this position.
Right, right. So a light screen does
Morgrim,
come out on
yeah.
Raz's end.
Yep,
Sorry.
and that Hitmonlee's already specially bulky, so it'll take this attack well, but unfortunately it's going to have to switch out, which is really not what you want to see from your max target.
No, and that's almost no max pressure to oppose whatever max pressure is going to come out of Hunter's end, which is probably going to be the
Hmm.
Primarina because we know how well that tanked hits last game. But
Yep.
still, that's just a brutal way to finish it off.
Yeah, Premier is going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, knock out Morgrim, do a good chunk to Gudra. Hunter still has his max. It's just not looking good for Raz here.
No, not at all. Hunter doesn't even have to max at this point. He can just keep the Persian pressure out and keep going for Dazzling Gleams. However, I don't think he wants to do that. He can probably just max the Primarina here and be fine because he doesn't want to take too much damage from this Gudra and its Sludge Bomb.
Hmm.
But we do see this Goler come out instead of the Hitmonlee, which is very smart because it now means that um, Raz can't lose two mons at once to another Dazzling Gleam, and
Yeah.
very understandable on his end.
Although it looks like this Primarina is probably just going to Dynamax here. Um, I mean, seems like a pretty obvious way. It actually just protects here. Also, totally fine plays. Just seeing what Raz goes for. Gudra protects, trying to save itself from damage. Persian's just gonna icy win, get chip off onto Golurk, lower its speed,
Hmm. And
and
depending on what
then
Goler
we'll see what
does.
Golurk goes for.
Hmm.
It is going to go for Poltergeist onto Primarina, so trying to do damage to that Primarina unfortunately just goes into the Protect. Persian actually still has its Focus Sash, so that's going to take 2 attacks to knock out. Just not a great position here from Razz.
Right. Razz is just having so much trouble dealing with this Prim.
Hmm.
And I feel like this last play that just happened was, it was hands down in favor of Hunter because of that Golurk play. But
Yeah.
the use of Icy Wind there, preventing Golurk from outspeeding this Prim, because I believe they have the same base speed. I could be wrong, but they probably have the same base speed. So if there is enough speed investment into that Golurk, it could be moving before the Prim and be a massive problem for the end game. So that Icy Wind Protect play completely puts Hunter in the favor, I guess,
Yeah, he
going
puts him in
into
the
this.
driver's seat. The Icy Wind
Exactly.
actually misses the Gudra this turn. Fortunately, I don't think Raz is going to be able to capitalize off that. Starfall comes out from Primarina, goes into Gudra. So, yeah, Gudra just drops to the Starfall there.
Right, right. And perfect target analysis there. Gudra has really the only huge offensive pressure that can hit this
Mhm.
Primarina. I mean, other than this Poltergeist. Oh my god.
Oh, that
Never
does a lot
mind.
of damage.
That Poltergeist does so much damage, and now that is going to be the main target.
Hmm.
That was
Wonder if that
probably
Golurk is choice banded.
potentially. And now I really see how that Icy and Protect play from earlier paid off because the Primarina would not have survived otherwise. And so
Yeah.
that was almost a missed target on Hunter's end, but obviously that was really something that you either don't prep for or it's very easy to overlook. But now that Primarina is maxed and has taken a hit and knows that it can outspeed, Golar's priority number one to take out.
Oh, yeah. Hitmonlee's just going to die to a fairy move as soon as you get one off. And it's fighting type, so it doesn't have a great offensive pressure into you either. So really, it's just kind of dead weight at this point in the match.
Right, right. You have no reason to want to target into it at all either. Or not until you deal with this Golurk first.
Which Geyser is going to come out, assumedly, into the Golurk. Yeah, into Golurk. Golurk's going to drop. And that's pretty much going to be the end of the match here.
Right, right. So, very well played and thought out from Hunter's end. We do see, okay, Hitmonlee's going to try
Yeah.
taking the KO onto Persian. This is a
But,
little bit of, I guess, as a little bit of
yeah.
something to take home. But,
hmm But doesn't really matter. It's really just making itself easier to KO. So,
right, right. And now, this is a very easy win for Hunter here. So, congrats, Hunter, for making it into the finals. Great job, very
yeah.
well played throughout both of your games versus both me and Raz. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
very,
And
very well deserved.
I'll be waiting for you in finals for sure.
Right,
This
right.
match is super exciting to watch. Yeah, well played from both players. The DC in game one, a little bit unfortunate, but definitely got resolved well. And I think both players can be happy with this result. Raz certainly, I know he was talking about, originally he didn't fully appreciate his team, but he made a great run this season. I mean, the transactions he made, everything squeaked in to the playoffs and got to the top four. So you can't be too sad about that.
Oh no, not at all here. Um, just getting into
And
the top four in the first place and losing to such a phenomenal player like Hunter, definitely something to be proud of, especially for the first GLDL season.
yeah, for sure. And I'm sure he'll be back next season, ready to wreak more havoc.
And probably with a better draft to do it with, too.
Yeah, for sure. Sure, Hunter will also be back too, and that's this time. Oh, Persian just kills the Hitmonlee.
Hunter will not
Persian
be
actually
back,
picked up a
but
few kills here.
Persian doing some work. But yeah, Hunter won't be back. So this is about his last playoff run before he takes a hiatus from Pokemon. But
Ah, okay.
yeah,
So
so
he's gotta make it his victory tour pretty much. And at this point,
exactly.
he's doing a good job of it.
All right, so yeah, congrats, Hunter, for taking the win, making it to finals in your last in your last league before your hiatus.
Yeah, for sure. Well played
And
to both
yeah,
players.
well played to both, and congrats, Raz, for making it this far into the league itself. So anyway, we will see y'all. Well, we won't. I won't see y'all, but MBOS will see y'all in the finals. That'll be
Oh yeah.
commentated by Wakeman and Ryan. So hope you
Yeah,
guys
for sure.
enjoy that one there.
Yeah.
That's it. Bye.
See everyone later.
See ya.